Welcome to another episode of The Hard Count. I'm Michael Imam, and I recently had the opportunity to interview Lexington High School's kicker Lucas Patocs Bisazza. Patocs Bisazza is a member of the 2023 class and currently stands at 6 foot 1 inches and 170 pounds and is a 4-star kicker according to Chris Saylor's Kicking. He's the number one kicker in the state of Massachusetts in his class of 2023, according to his Twitter page, and has seen his distance increase tremendously over the last year. Patocs Bisazza has an incredible backstory as well, as he's from France and grew up playing soccer and other sports. We had an amazing conversation about how he convinced his parents wanted to play football. All right, folks, you're not going to want to miss this one. All right, everyone, here is Lucas Patocs Bisazza. Hope you guys enjoy this one. So I saw that you had a 4-star ranking by Chris Saylor's Kicking, and there's also an article on you here that a gentleman wrote on you here from the wicked local Lexington that talks about your journey into how you ended up playing football. First off, I wanted to ask you, how did you convince your parents that you wanted to get into football? Because it talks about how you kind of had some conflict there, and there was obviously, they were worried about you getting hurt. So how did you convince your parents that you wanted to play football?
It's actually kind of funny. So my parents, I've been trying to convince them for the longest time, ever since I moved to the United States from France, which was in 4th grade. I've been trying to convince them, but then I started doing some presentations for them using Google Slides because I just started using it in school. So I was getting kind of excited about using it because I just learned about it. So I just started doing some Google Slide presentations to them with some facts about, American football, high school football, injury risks, and all that. So then they got a little bit more okay with it because I showed them a bunch of facts that they didn't, because they're used to seeing the NFL games and there's a lot more players getting hurt. But once I let them know that it's not like that in high school, they got a little bit more okay with it.
Wow, Lucas, that's amazing. So obviously, so you get through that, and then you said you have a background in, I think, basketball and soccer. Is that correct?
Yes, I played soccer until my 7th grade year. I stopped playing because of an ankle injury. And then I played basketball instead of soccer. I played AAU club basketball.
Right.
And then stopped playing that for football. Now I only play winter basketball.
Okay. All right. Very cool. And so obviously you have the experience kicking the soccer ball, obviously, and you mentioned that you're from France. So when you're kind of looking at how you're kicking a soccer ball and how you're kicking a football, do you think that this would give kind of an opportunity for a lot of soccer players to do it? Are they kind of interchangeable? Is there a similarity between kicking a soccer ball and kicking a football?
Yeah, they're very similar. Kicking a soccer ball is slightly different, but any soccer player who is committed to trying to kick could potentially do a very well job on it. If you don't have a pass with soccer, it's a lot more difficult. Soccer did play a big role in my kicking. That's for sure.
Right. And so obviously your first year, you said you kind of had a rough year coming out of the gate in week 1, and then in week 4 you kind of really did fantastically. You kind of really came into your own in terms of having a great kicking performance. So and obviously now, obviously in comparison to back then, you're even better. You said you added, I think, 20 yards to your field goal estimate, which I think is fantastic. What did you kind of do during the off season to kind of develop your leg and how you made it stronger and obviously work better in terms of kicking field goals and getting that distance?
Yeah, so I haven't spent a lot of time yet in the gym. So it's been a lot more about form practicing. My form has gotten a lot better since I played during the season. During the season, I think my max was around 38 yards, and now I'm capable of hitting 50-yarders with a max of 56. So it's mostly about form, what I've done. I've not spent much time in the weight room. I'm trying to spend a little more time in the gym, but it's very difficult with COVID. So
Right.
it's definitely something I'm going to try to do soon.
Yeah, that sounds good. And obviously, you were kind of offered the varsity spot right out of the gate when their kicker had been injured. How did you feel with the coach calling you up and saying, "Hey, do you want to kick for us at the varsity level?"
I thought at first I was kind of speechless. I was just practicing for fun with my friend. I actually wasn't even playing freshman kicker. I was just trying to hit some field goals for fun. So I was kind of speechless and surprised that they offered me the job to play for varsity. But yeah, I went home. We were all very surprised, my family too, because I never really thought I was going to play kicker. But it turns out something I'm very good at that I didn't know. So um, maybe there's a lot more things that I started to think that there's a lot more things that I'm really good at that I've not tried.
Right, right,
So I'm a lot more open minded to try new things after that.
right, right.
So
Yeah, that's very, very cool, Lucas. That's very, very cool. And obviously, so you go from there, and then obviously now you're doing it at a very high level in terms of your high school, getting that spot, and obviously kind of working on your craft there. So, have you been in contact
yeah.
with any colleges? Have you been doing any camps, visiting anybody at this point?
Uh, I have not been in contact with colleges yet. I'm actually trying to get in contact with some. Uh, but I have been mostly doing camps, exposure camps, ranking camps. Hopefully, gonna do some more this year, and in the future, in my 4 years that I have in high school, a lot more. Um, Trying to get ranked higher than 27th in the country. I did. I honestly, I believe that it is very achievable. I didn't have the best day at one of the camps where I achieved 4 stars. So I believe that in a good day, I could potentially rank up higher than before. That's mostly what I've been doing. I haven't been really in contact with colleges, but my coach for high school is telling me to start getting in contact with them because uh, it's kind of time since junior years when I could potentially start receiving offers.
Right, right.
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna start doing that soon.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And so, kind of going off, I know we talked about your parents and how you convinced them early on, but I wanted to ask you, how have they kind of influenced you as an athlete, your mom and dad?
Um, my parents, my dad is the one that kind of told me to play soccer. He loves soccer. He's from Italy. He's always liked soccer, so he wanted me to play soccer. So I think that played a big role. If he had not asked me to play soccer, then or asked me to try it out, I don't think I would have been able to kick like I do today. Um, my mom is very supportive as well. They try to send me to as many camps as possible, which helps a ton. Um, and yeah, that's it.
Wow, wow, yeah, yeah. And so, I just wanted to ask you, involving your kind of your high school, the kind of rigorousness of academics in high school. How do you kind of go about balancing sports and academics?
So uh, I always think when I'm doing work that I'm doing it for football. Uh, Even when it's not so fun to work, I'm always motivated by football because I know in reality that I can be really good at football, but I need to be even better at academics to succeed in life. Um, so that's kind of what motivates me. Yeah,
Right,
I always just think about me on the sideline if I do bad on a test because
right.
I'm not gonna be able to play and get as much exposure.
Yeah, yeah, and obviously, I don't know. I kind of asked this one kind of final question here, just for fun. I don't know how much NFL you watch, but I was going to ask you, involving if you were to get drafted by an NFL team, what would be your preferred team to get drafted by if your dreams are realized at that point?
Oh, that's a good question. I do watch a lot of NFL, mostly college, but I watch NFL as well. Uh, I would say that if I get to that level, I honestly wouldn't really mind where I go, as long as it's somewhere with nice weather. I don't know if I would really mind where to go. I just want to kick and do something I like. Honestly, obviously, the Patriots are my favorite team. That's
Right.
because that's where I'm from. But I really would not mind kicking for any other team, even if it's a team that really dislikes the Patriots or the other way around.
Right, right. All right, awesome, awesome. Thanks so much for coming on, Lucas. I really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Great talking to you. All right, everybody, thanks so much for listening. That was Lucas Patocs Bisazza out of Lexington High School in Massachusetts. If you'd like to contact Lucas, his Twitter account is at Lucas Bisazza, and that's spelled at LucasBisazza. And also, if you'd like to contact me, my Twitter account is at Imami Michael, and my Facebook page is at The Hard Count with Michael Imami, and my Instagram page is at The Hard Count with Michael Imami. Make sure you go ahead and follow those and check those out. Also, subscriptions to the YouTube channel also are appreciated. Really appreciate those. And also, big thanks to Lucas for coming on, and an incredible story. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. It was great hearing him from his story from coming over to France and convincing his parents to play football. It was a great story. All right, everybody, thank you so much for listening. This has been The Hard Count. Do you have what it takes to go D1?